Hey everyone, how's it going? Azrin here, owner of the Calgary Language Nerds, and welcome to today's Learn Gujarati with Me podcast episode and YouTube video. We're going to keep going with our high frequency vocabulary videos here. We're getting close to the end, so we just have a few more of these videos. Probably by the end of next week, end of this week rather. We probably will be wrapped up with these vocab videos, and then we're going to move on to some other things. So here we go. Let's go to number 301. This is soti. Soti means like the most, or in English, we often have EST, right? So like the biggest, the smallest, the fastest. The fancy word for that is superlatives. That's like the grammar term for that. So, a soti motu jhad che. This is the biggest tree. So imagine you're in a field. A soti motu jhad che. So the formula for soti is you have soti plus an adjective. Soti motu, biggest. Soti nanu, smallest. Soti jaldi, soti whatever, right? Soti mitu, the sweetest. એ વર્ગમાં સૌથી હોશિયાર વિદ્યાર્થી છે. He or she is the smartest student in the class. Varg, by the way, is the word for class. Varg. ભારતમાં સૌથી લાંબી નદી કઈ છે? ભારતમાં સૌથી લાંબી નદી કઈ છે? Which is the longest river in India? Bharatma in India, Soti Lambi, the longest. Nadi is river. Kaiche, which one is it? 302 is Badalvu. Badalvu is to change. So, ene phone number, Badli Nakyo. Ene phone number, Badli Nakyo. He or she changed his or her phone number. We've talked about this a lot. We can combine verbs together in Gujarati. So, Badli Nakvu is pretty much the same as badalvu. It's the same thing, same meaning pretty much. So, એને phone number બદલી નાખ્યો. He changed his phone number. હું આવતા મહિને મારી નોકરી બદલવાનો છું. હું આવતા મહિને મારી નોકરી બદલવાનો છું. I'm gonna change my job the next month. So, next month, મારી નોકરી, my job, બદલવાનો, like the future. That's one of the future tenses for, well, one of the future tenses. So I'm going to change my job next month. 303 and 304, to win and to lose. So to win is jitvu. Jitvu. Aje match kon jitse. Aje match kon jitse. Who will win the match today? Or if we switch that to the past tense, kon jityu. Who won? As I'm recording this, we have the World Cup. So it's like, kon jityu. Kon jityu. Who won the match? The opposite is to lose, which is harvu. I only have one example here for harvu, so we can say bhale hari gaya, pan agli match ma jitisu. So bhale, we're going to see bhale in a second, but it's like even though we lost the game, we still learned a lot. Even though we lost the game, we still learned a lot. We're going to look at that grammar point in a second. Now there's another word for lose, which is if you lose an object. Harvu is to lose a competition, lose a game. Hoinakvu is to lose an object. So you misplace something. For example, Tame tamari chavi kya khovai naki. Tame tamari chavi kya khovai naki. Where did you lose your keys? Or if we even like simplify the sentence even more, I could just say like Mari chav. Actually, I want to write a simple sentence. Sometimes my sentences are a bit more complex than I'd like. Let's change it right now. Let's do this. Mari. Oops. We need to go to the keyboard. Let's do this. Mari chavi khovai gai. Mari chavi khovai gai. Let's write that in the let's do this in the like transliteration. Mari chavi khovai gai. My keys are lost. Or my keys got lost. Okay, number 305. This is a bit of a trickier one. We'll slow down a tiny bit here. So the word for even though in Gujarati is bhale. Now, Gujarati uses bhale a little bit differently. It's always followed by pan. Bhale blah 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 blah. Pan blah 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 blah. Bhale des pan blah. So, for example, we have some longer sentences. Oh, I forgot the word bhale here. Let's put bhale here. Hang on, I just realized I didn't put the word bhale. I'm gonna pause and add them in. Oh no, sorry, it is here. I did put it. Sorry. We're good. We're good. એક વાદળ ભલે હળવું લાગે, પણ એનું વજન 5 લાખ કિલો હોય છે. તો એક વાદળ ભલે હળવું લાગે, પણ એનું વજન 5 લાખ કિલો હોય છે. So let's break this down. Remember, Gujarati has flexible word order, so we could put bhale elsewhere. I could say, for example, bhale ek vadar harvu lage. I could put it in the beginning. It doesn't really matter where you put it. Like Gujarati is super flexible like that. So we'll leave it as is here. Ek vadar, one cloud. Bhale, even though harvu lage, light it seems. So even though a cloud seems light, or we would say in English looks light, but enu vajan, its weight, 5 lakh. So lakh is a word you don't have in English. 1 lakh is equal to 100,000. So ek lakh, 100,000. Be lakh, 200,000. Tron lakh, 300,000. Char lakh, 400,000. Panch lakh, 500,000. As a fun fact, Gujarati and other languages too, it's not just Gujarati, they don't always have the same number logic. So I'll give you an example in Chinese. Chinese, for example, once you hit 10,000, you don't say 10,000, you say 1/10,000. Like 10,000 in itself is a unit. It is a unit of counting, whereas for in English, 10,000 is not. 1,000 is the unit of counting. 10,000 is just, well, 10,000. So in Gujarati, 100,000, it's not 100 plus 1,000. It's a unit of counting is lakh. So 5 lakh kilo hoy che. Hoy che is pretty much the same as che. So it tends to be 500,000 kilograms. We can look at another one here. Morna picha bhale sundar hoy, પણ તેના વજનના કારણે તે ઊંચે ઉડી શકતો નથી. One more time. મોરના પીછા ભલે સુંદર હોય, પણ તેના વજનના કારણે તે ઊંચે ઉડી શકતો નથી. So a long, complicated sentence. So mor is a peacock. Morna is like the peacocks with an apostrophe s. Picha are feathers. So the peacock's feathers, bhale sundar hoy, even though they are sundar, beautiful, but ina vajan, its weight, ina vajan na karane, because of its weight. We saw na karane earlier in a previous video, one of these vocab videos. Te unche udi shakto nati. He is not able to. So te, same as a. We can say a, honestly. A is he or she. Unche is nice and high. Udi shakto nati. He cannot fly. So he can't fly very high because they're too heavy. That's a really difficult one there. So, okay, to hope is asha rakfi. Asha rakfi. So you keep hope pretty much in Gujarati. Hu asha rakhu chu ke tame khush cho. I hope you are happy. Hu asha rakhu chu, I'm keeping hope. Ke tame khush cho, you are happy. Ame asha rakhiye chiye ke aje varsad parse. We hope that it will rain today. Ame asha rakhiye chiye ke aje varsad parse. Okay, next two are kind of similar. There's to be hanging and then there's to hang something. So to be hanging is latakvu. To hang something is latkavu. So let's start with to be hanging. Jhad par far latke che. Jhad par far latke che. Or we could even say dari par. Dari is a branch. So dari par or jhad, whichever. Jhad par far latke che. There's a fruit hanging on the tree. Dori par kapra latke che. Clothes are hanging on the rope. Dori is a word for rope. So kapra bar latakta hata. Kapra bar latakta hata. The clothes were hanging outside. Now, if you are actually hanging something, it's not something is hanging, but you are hanging something. We have latkavu. So for example, એને ગમે ત્યાં લટકાવો. એને ગમે ત્યાં લટકાવો. Hang this wherever you want. Ene, so this, like, this, the ene, like, to this thing. Gametya is an expression which means wherever you like. Wherever you like means gametya. Gametya, word per word, is like there. So wherever you like. Latkavo, hang it, right? A khili par tamaro coat latkavo. Hang your coat on this nail. Kili is a word for nail. Okay. You have this we have talked about this in a grammar video. Latak, you can take pretty much any verb, and if you add avu to it, it means that, how do I say this? It means you do it to something else. So let me stop my screen share. So if I take something like, my favorite example of this is chalvu, is to walk, right? Chalavu is to walk something else. Now, because you walk something else, like, for example, let's take a step back. So chalvu is to walk, chalavu is to drive. Why is chalavu to drive? Because you make your car do the walking for you. Right? Gadi chalavu chu, I'm making it walk. Or latakvu, to be hanging. Latkavu, I'm doing the hanging to something. I'm hanging something. Like, you're doing it to someone. Kavu, to eat. Kavravu, to feed. Right? You're making, right? Pivu, drink. Pivravu, to feed someone. Now you'll notice that some of those, it's not always as simple. It's not always as simple as just adding avu to it. Like, I don't say, for example, latakavu. It's not latakavu. Like, it's latkavu. Like, it's a little bit of a pronunciation change. Or like for kavu, it's not kavavu, it's kavravu. So there's some light changes that happen to the verbs when we switch the form into these avu forms. There are some rules that dictate how it happens, but I think probably the easiest way is just to learn them verb by verb, because the rules, they're kind of fuzzy, and it's not like, maybe there's a very clear rule that's like super easy to grasp. Maybe, I don't know. But I think it's just easier just to go verb by verb, frankly. Okay, 309 is bhag. Bhag means part. Mane a bhag gameche. I like this part. Maybe it's a part of a movie or part of a whatever. Mane a bhag gameche. A film no pelo bhag che. A film no pelo bhag che. This is the first part of the film, of the movie. To throw is fenkfu. A doro fenko. A doro fenko. Throw this ball. Doro is the word for ball. Ene taraoma ek patthar fenkyo. Ene taraoma ek patthar fenkyo. He threw a stone into the lake. Patthar is the word for stone or for rock. Both is banne. Mara banne mitro vakil che. Mara banne mitro vakil che. Vakil is a lawyer. We're going to see that in 1 second. So both my friends are lawyers. Mane banne bhave che. I like both. Now remember, bhave che is only used with food and drink. So this would be the context of like two food dishes in front of you. And you're like, yeah, I like the taste of both of them. Amme banne kale bajarma gaya tha. Amme banne kale bajarma gaya hata. Amme banne kale bajarma gaya tha. Both of us went to the market yesterday. Now, lawyer is vakil, pretty straightforward word. Hu vakil chu, I'm a lawyer. In fact, I'm not a lawyer, so hu vakil nati. Or e mara vakil che, he or she is my lawyer. To be alive or to live is jivu. So I could say, for example, so varash jivu che. So varash jivu che. Do you want to live for 100 years? So is the word for 100. Bit of a longer sentence here. Manushya pani vagar jivi na shake. Manushya pani vagar jivi na shake. Manushya is like a fancy word for like people. It really means like mankind. Very fancy, high level word. Pani vagar. Vagar means without. So without water. Jivi na shake. They cannot live. People cannot live without water, pretty much. Now, to die or to pass away is mari javu or gujri javu. Gujri javu is more like pass away. Mari javu is more like die. So, for example, amaro kutro mari gayo, our dog died, or dada gujri gaya. Dadi, not dada. Dadi gujri gaya. Grandmother passed away. So, very similar words, slightly different English translation. Okay, if you look at flavor profiles next, we have mitu, katu, karu, and goravu. So let's go up top here. oops. So મીઠું is sweet. So જાંબુ મીઠું છે, ગુલાબ જામુન is sweet. મને મને મીઠી ચા ભાવે છે. I like sweet tea. ખાટું, લીંબુ ખાટું હોય છે. Lemon is very sour. લીંબુ ખાટું હોય છે. Next one here, કાચી કેરી ખાટી. Oh, there's a typo here. કાચી કેરી ખાટી હોય છે. Raw mango tends to be sour. Salty is karu. So ashak bo karu che. This curry is too salty, or it's very salty. Let me say very salty, actually. Very salty. દરિયાનું પાણી કેમ ખારું હોય છે? દરિયાનું પાણી કેમ ખારું હોય છે? Why is sea water salty? Dariya, remember we saw that earlier is the word for sea. So દરિયાનું પાણી, the water of the sea, કેમ ખાટું હોય છે? ખારું હોય છે. Why is it salty? Bitter is કરવું. આ દવા ખૂબ કરવી છે. આ coffee કરવી છે. So this coffee is bitter. આ દવા ખૂબ કરવી છે. This medicine is very bitter. The word for business is ધંધો. ધંધો. I'm going to take trade out, actually. It's just business. There we go. ધંધો. મારા કાકા કપડાનો ધંધો કરે છે. My uncle is doing the clothing business. કપડાનો ધંધો. He's doing the clothing business. He's in the clothing business. રોહન નવો ધંધો શરૂ કરવા માંગે છે. By the way, if you ever want to say to start, like you want to start something, like you just have mangvu as the verb. There's a couple ways to do want, by the way. We've talked about using mare, but there's another way, which is mangvu. So I could say, for example, હું ખાવા માંગુ છું. I want to eat. એ કામ કરવા માંગે છે. So you just put a verb before that ends in va, and then you conjugate mangvu as normal. So that's pretty straightforward. To lie is here we go. Juttu bolvu. Juttu na bolvu જોઈએ. One should not lie. એ મારી સાથે જુઠ્ઠું બોલ્યો. He lied to me. Or like in literal terms would be like he or she lied with me. With me just means to me in Gujarati in this context, but yeah. તમે જુઠ્ઠું બોલો છો? તમે જુઠ્ઠું બોલો છો? Are you lying? Next one here, Yuvan or Nanu means young. So Yuvan chokro che, he's a young boy. Maro bhai haji nano che. So they're kind of similar. Nanu really means small, but it sometimes can be used for young. Yuvan really means like young. That's the word. Okay, so weird or strange is vichitra. I love this word, vichitra. So hu khub vichitravat, a khub vichitravat che. A khub vichitravat che. This is a very strange or very weird thing. A khub vichitravat che. આ મશીનમાંથી વિચિત્ર અવાજ આવે છે. From this machine, આ મશીનમાંથી, from the inside of this machine, વિચિત્ર અવાજ, a strange noise, આવે છે, is coming. એ વિચિત્ર માણસ છે. He is a weird man. Ball is દડો. We saw that earlier. So લાલ દડો ક્યાં છે? Where's the red ball? Where's the red ball? લાલ દડો ક્યાં છે? મારી પાસે એક નવો દડો છે. I have a new ball. Very easy sentence. Hey, dream. I love this. So to dream in Gujarati, you watch dreams. So I love this. It's really poetic in a way. Sapnu is the word for dream. Jovu is the word for see. So sapnu jovu, you see dreams, aka you dream. હું રોજ રાત્રે સપના જોઉં છું. I dream every night. I actually do dream many times a week, and I do remember my dreams. I have very wild dreams. I could probably make a whole, just for fun, for listening comprehension, I could probably make a whole I could probably make like a 300 video series on the dreams I've had. Oh my goodness. You know, like in the movie Inception, where the person where they like have these dreams that last a long time, and like I've had dreams where in one night I live like a year of life in my dream. It's really wild. So anyway, હું રોજ રાત્રે સપના જોઉં છું. I dream every night. બાળકો હંમેશા સારા સપના જોવે છે. બાળકો હંમેશા સારા સપના જોવે છે. Children always dream good dreams. Now, is that true? I don't know. I had bad dreams as a kid pretty frequently, so that's okay. We can say that they always have nice dreams. રાત્રે આપણે સપના કેમ જોઈએ છીએ? રાત્રે આપણે સપના કેમ જોઈએ છીએ? Why do we dream at night? પડવું is to fall, easy word. સફરજન નીચે પડ્યું, the apple fell down. વરસાદ પડે છે, the rain is falling. Easy peasy. The word for important, kind of a difficult word to pronounce. મહત્વનું. 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 There's another word as well, which is મહત્વપૂર્ણ. Mahatvapuran, Mahatvapuran, or Mahatvanu, both are fine. I'd say, yeah, both are pretty easy, or sorry, pretty common, excuse me. A khub mahatvani vat che. Sorry, a bo, not khub. A bo mahatvani vat che. This is a very important matter. Ek mahatvani, there we go. Ek mahatvani pariksha baki che. There's one important exam remaining. આજે ખૂબ જ મહત્વનો દિવસ છે. Today is a very important day. Okay, જાડુ is the word for fat. So આ પુસ્તક બહુ જાડુ છે. This book is very thick. પહેલો છોકરો થોડો જાડો છે. So that boy is a little bit fat. પાતળું is the word for thin. So આ બહુ પાતળું છે. This is very thin, whatever object you have. ચામાં પાતળી મલાઈ છે. There's a thin layer of malai. I don't even know what the word for malai is. I honestly don't know. If you don't know, if you just boil milk, you get this thin skin at the top. It's like milk fat. I don't really know what it is, but that's malai. So chama patadi malai che. There's a thin malai on the tea. Maro bhai thoro pataro che. My brother is a bit thin. Let's do two more here. So to sell is vengeful. E bajarma shakbhaji. I don't know why this is italicized. Keep it consistent. There we go. E bajarma shakbhaji venche che. He or she sells vegetables in the market. Mare mari juni cycle venchvi che. I want to sell my old bicycle. Cycle is the word for bicycle. Lastly, kapfu, easy word here. So a safarjan kapo. Cut this apple. Not even please, just cut this apple. Cut this apple. Next one here. E shakbhaji kape che. He or she is cutting vegetables. Could be he or she, really. Yeah, doesn't matter. Okay, he or she is cutting vegetables. E shakbhaji kape che. All right, let's do a bit of practice here. So I'll stop my screen share and let's begin. I'll do some talking and you guys will listen and try and understand these new words. Let's see here. You know what? We can do a lot of visual stuff with these. I'm looking at these. There's some really visual things we can do. Let's do some visual ones. There's some really nice, really, really good stuff we can do here. I like this. Okay, let's get a picture of a forest. Okay, let's do this one's not bad. I'll zoom in on this one a bit. Actually, this one's easier. So look at this picture here. And I want you to tell me, pretend I'm with you and just point at your screen and tell me, oh, that's the biggest tree. Like, look at the picture, be like, which one's the biggest? Be like, that's the biggest tree right there. Okay, so to say that, I'd say, oh, Jo, a સૌથી મોટું ઝાડ છે. એ સૌથી મોટું ઝાડ છે. Maybe it's this one in the fog in the back, maybe. એ સૌથી મોટું ઝાડ છે. What about the smallest one? Be like, oh, there's the smallest tree. You would say, oh, જો અહીંયા સૌથી નાનું ઝાડ છે. સૌથી મોટું, સૌથી નાનું. Okay, if we zoom out, we look at all these pictures at the same time. I think I saw a really good one, actually. Yeah, perfect. So look at all these pictures. Point to the picture that looks like it's the coldest. You're like, ooh, that must be the coldest. Maybe I see two that could be. A photo, bit of an odd sentence, but we'll still do it. A photo સૌથી ઠંડો છે. Bit of an odd sentence, frankly, because the picture's not cold, but you get the gist, right? A photo સૌથી ઠંડો કે આ સૌથી ઠંડો છે. Right? One of those two are the coldest. Okay, let's do another one here. Let me stop my screen share. I'll pick another excuse me. Let's do, ooh, yes, I got this. Okay, I'll share my screen again. Okay. So here we have let's see, let's find a cool one. Let's find a nice one. I kind of like this one up here actually. I saw one that I liked. Dun, dun, dun. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? What I was looking at. Oh, there it is, one of the dude here. Okay, so he's watching his football team, this guy here, okay, with his Brazilian flag. Let's say Brazil is winning. How would you be like, oh, Brazil is winning the game? How would you say that? Brazil जीते છે. જીતે છે. Right? Brazil, if we go over here, right? જીતે છે. જીતવું is to win. Okay. Now, what if they're winning, back over here. Perfect. He's watching his team, they're winning, but then last second they lose. How do you say, oh no, Brazil lost the game? ये लोग को हारी गया. ये लोग को हारी गया. Now let's say they want to play soccer. Okay, here's a soccer ball, right? They're like, okay, we got to play soccer, but they lost the ball. Oh no, they lost it. How would you say that the ball is lost? So they can't play anymore. Daro is the word for ball. We saw that earlier. Daro kovai gayo. Daro kovai gayo. The ball is lost. Oh no, daro kovai gayo. એટલે એ લોકો રમી શકતા નથી. દડો ખોવાઈ ગયો એટલે એ લોકો રમી શકતા નથી. So they cannot play. રમી શકતા નથી. Okay, let's get a picture. Let's do this over here. Oopsies. Let's get this over here. Okay. Here we go. Perfect. I like this one on the left. So A actually looks like a judge. Let's not do a judge. Let's find an actual. Ooh, look at this scary looking dude over here. Okay, scary looking dude. He's our lawyer. How do we say lawyer in Gujarati? Gujarati ma lawyer sucha. Okay, A, for example. Vakil. Yeah, let's say vakil. Vakil. Where's our vakil? Vakil, 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 vakil. I don't see vakil. There it is. Vakil right here. Vakil. What if you want to say actually they're both lawyers? Both these guys are lawyers. Both these guys are lawyers. એ લોકો બંને વકીલ છે. એ લોકો બંને વકીલ છે. બંને વકીલ છે. All right. You know what? I actually saw one that we could use for another word. Where did I see one? Kind of. Yeah, we could look at. There's probably a better picture, but we can still kind of do it. We have like this. What do you call those? That Libra. What's the word for that? Anyway, this thingy here, right? It's kind of like hanging there. What do you call that? Oh my God, I can't even remember the word in English. Lord, what do you call those things? Like doesn't matter. Okay, we'll just say a thingy. Okay, this thingy here, avastu. Okay, notice this thing is hanging. How do you say that? A vastu latke che. Latke che. Why can't I remember the word for that? What's that thing called? Oh well. Latke che. By the way, a fun word if you want. I don't know if this is a dialect. I don't know if it's my family. I don't know if I've heard this so much. I'll stop my screen share. If you ever want to have like a thingy, like say it's a fun story. We're like hanging curtains, and there's like a little screw-on like end piece on the curtain rod, and like as we're like this curtain has been the bane of my family's existence for the past month. Like we can't get it the right size. It's not hanging. My nanny's helped. My uncle, my mama has helped. Like everyone's like working on these curtains that are just like an absolute nightmare. We had this like curtain lady that came and looked. It's just a crazy thing. Yeah, it's been a crazy thing. And like one day, like we're trying to like screw on this end piece, and then my mom was like, mom's kind of like, yeah, go get the tochku, the tochku. I was like, yeah, fair. I'm screwing on the tochku. I was like, tochku, I love that word. Tochku is just like any kind of thingy. It's like, oh yeah, go put that thingy on it, like a tochku. I was like, oh, it's a great, it's a great word. Because like if I said, hey, screw the thingy on, that sounds funny in English, but in Gujarati sounds perfectly fine. Like any little small thingamabobber thing can just be a tochku. So anyway, fun fact. All right, let's keep going here. Let me share my screen. I kind of want to go back to that ball actually. Let's go back to that ball that we had. Okay. So in soccer, normally we kick the ball. We're going to learn the word for kick probably next time, actually. But sometimes in soccer, you know what? Oh, never mind. That's not a baseball. I thought it was a baseball. Sometimes in soccer, you do throw ins, right? You throw the ball in. How do we say like for example, let's say something like, I am throwing the ball. How do I say that? Hun daro fenku chu. Hun daro fenku chu. The verb is fenkvu. Fenkvu is somewhere. I don't know where it is, but we can probably find it. Here it is, right there. Hun daro fenku chu. Now let's stick with the soccer one here. Let's go back to this dude. He's cheering for his team, right? You know, he's really hoping that his team wins. How would you say that? He hopes or he's hoping that his team wins. How would you say that? E આશા રાખે છે કે બ્રાઝિલની ટીમ જીતશે. Or if we simplify it, એ આશા રાખે છે કે બ્રાઝિલ જીતશે. So આશા રાખવું is somewhere over here and probably find it. Oh, there it is right here. Asha, right? So આશા રાખવી, right? It means to keep hope, right? He's hoping. એ આશા રાખે છે કે બ્રાઝિલ જીતશે. Okay, let's do a couple more here. I think I can do a couple. Let's see. Is there another visual one or do I have to do some with talking? Let's see. Oh yeah, let's do some visual ones with here. Let me actually share my screen again. We can do some visual ones with like flavor profiles. Let's do this here. Okay. Yeah, this is what I want. There, okay. Let's go to lemon to start. So lemon in Gujarati is limbu. Limbu. And let's recap the four words one more time. So if mitu is sweet, katu is sour, salty is karu, bitter is garvu. Okay, so mitu, katu, karu, garvu. So limbu would be limbu is mitu. Na. Karu. What is it? You tell me. What is it? Khatu. Limbu khatu che or limbu khatu hoy che. What about if we go to seawater? What is that? Is it mitu? No. Na, mitu nati. Is it khatu? What do you think? Is it salty? Or sorry, is it sour like a lemon? Khatu che khatu? No, of course khatu here it is khatu. Khatu nati. Su che. Karu. Karu. Okay, well, let's show you this here. This will be an easy one, I think. Here's some salt. Is it mitu? Is it tiku? Oh, we didn't do tiku. Tiku. We should do that too. Tiku is spicy. That's not on the list. Can't believe it's on the list. Tiku is the word for spicy. Tiku. So is it tiku? Tiku cha? No. Tiku nati. Na. Asu cha. Right? So what is it? So it's salty, right? Karu cha. Okay, let's look over here. All right, we have some coffee. There we go. All right, what's the flavor profile of coffee? Mitu, tiku. You tell me. Pop back over here. Coffee, karvi che, karvi. right? Garvi. Garvi. Okay, last one here. Let's do a chili pepper. So this is the marchu. Marchu is a chili pepper. Marchu. There's some powder. Marchu. 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 Marchu મીઠું છે? ના. મરચું કડવું છે? ના. મરચું ખારું છે? ના. મરચું તીખું છે. તીખું. Spicy. Okay, let's have a look. What else can we do here? Let me look at these words. Anything else that's visual, or should I do some talking now? Let's do some talking. I'll just read you. Honestly, what I'll do just for simplicity's sake, I'll just read you a couple of sentences from these and you try and understand. So here we go. Mara, I don't actually have one here, but that's okay. Pretend. Mara hatma safarjan che. Mara hatma safarjan che. Safarjan એટલે apple. So mara hatma safarjan che. There's an apple in my hand. Ne હું સફરજન કાપું છું. હું સફરજન કાપું છું. What's that? I am cutting the apple. હું સફરજન કાપું છું. All right, next one here. Here we go. તો મારા ઘરમાં એક સાયકલ છે. બહુ જૂની સાયકલ છે. બહુ જૂની સાયકલ છે. So I have a bike and I have a bike in my house. મારા ઘરમાં સાયકલ છે. There is a bike in my house. અને એ સાયકલ બહુ જૂની છે. That bike is very old. Juni is old, and my bike actually is extremely old. It's a very old bike. It's like more than 20 years. I don't even know. Old bike. મારી સાયકલ બહુ જૂની છે. એટલે મારે સાયકલ વેચવી છે. મારે સાયકલ વેચવી છે. I want to વેચવી. I want to sell it. મારે વેચવી છે સાયકલ. Let's do this here. જ્યારે હું નાનો હતો ત્યારે હું બહુ જ પાતળો હતો. જ્યારે હું નાનો હતો ત્યારે હું બહુ જ પાતળો હતો. અત્યારે પણ હું પાતળો છું. પણ હું નાનો હતો ત્યારે હું વધારે પાતળો હતો. So one more time. જ્યારે હું નાનો હતો ત્યારે હું બહુ પાતળો હતો. અત્યારે પણ હું પાતળો છું. પણ હું નાનો હતો ત્યારે હું વધારે પાતળો હતો. So જ્યારે હું નાનો હતો, when I was small, ત્યારે then હું પાતળો હતો. I was thin, પાતળો. અત્યારે પણ also now હું પાતળો છું. I am thin. પણ પહેલા, but before, હું જ્યારે હું નાનો હતો, when I was little, ત્યારે હું વધારે પાતળો હતો. I was even more thin. વધારે. We've seen વધારે before too. હું જાડો નથી. હું જાડો નથી. I am not જાડો. હું જાડો પાડો નથી. હું જાડો નથી. I'm not fat. Okay. Let's do another one too. Let's do oh, actually, is this true? Not really true, but it's kind of true. Not really, but let's pretend it's true. આજે બહુ જ મહત્વનો દિવસ છે મારા માટે. આજે મારા માટે બહુ જ મહત્વનો દિવસ છે. મારા માટે, for me, આજે બહુ મહત્વનો દિવસ છે. It is a very important day. It's not really important. I'm just going to a fun event today. But I guess that makes it important, right? Okay. Okay, let's do this here. Oh, this one we can do with the picture, actually. Let's do this with the picture. This is going to make some good pictures of this one. You can tell me what's happening. Oh man, really? There's no good pictures of that? Hang on, let's try a different. Hang on, there must be. Oh yeah, there we go. That's better. Okay, that's better. Let me share my screen. It's a little better. It's not perfect, but it's okay. Okay, let's look at these top two here on the left. Look at these top two, right? Describe to me what is happening. What has happened. You can use whatever tense you want, past tense, future tense, present tense, not future, I guess, but probably past or present. The verb you're going to want is padavu. Padavu is the verb for fall. I'll give you a second to think. So you could say, for example, e padiyo, right? E padiyo, he or she fell, he fell, or e padi, she fell. You could say eloko in this one, the bottom one. Eloko padiya, they fell, right? A bunch of them fell down. Eloko padiya. I could say eloko padi gaya. That's a compound verb. Eloko padi gaya, they fell down. In this one, I could use a compound. This top one, I could use a compound verb as well. E padi jai che, he or she is falling right now. E padi jai che. Those are a couple of different options. Okay, let's go up here. Oh yeah, okay. Question for you. I'll ask you a question in Gujarati. You answer, okay? રાત્રે ઘણા લોકો શું કરે છે? રાત્રે ઘણા લોકો શું કરે છે? એ લોકો શું કરે છે? એ લોકો સૂવે છે, ઊંઘે છે, પણ એ લોકો ઊંઘતા એ લોકો શું કરતા હોય? શું કરે છે એ લોકો? મગજમાં, in the brain. So રાત્રે at night લોકો શું કરે છે? What are they doing? એ લોકો સૂતા હોય, they're sleeping. એ લોકો સૂવે છે, ઊંઘે છે, they're sleeping. But એ લોકો ઊંઘતા શું કરતા હોય? While they're sleeping, what are they doing? They're dreaming, right? How do we say dreaming? એ લોકો સપના જોવે છે. સપના જોવે છે. Ooh, this is fun. So, એ લોકો સપના જોવે છે. How would you say people have weird dreams? Like, oh my God, they have some strange dreams sometimes. એ લોકો વિચિત્ર સપના જોવે છે. વિચિત્ર સપના જોવે છે. They see weird dreams. વિચિત્ર સપના જોવે છે. Okay, there's more words, but I think that's long enough for one video, and we got the vast majority of them, so I think that's good. Yeah, let's leave that there. That's good enough. There's a couple we didn't get to, but that's fine. All right, so we're on number 330. What are we on? 331 now. We're on the word for bite, which we'll do next time. And I'll see you in the next episode or next lesson. Outro, bye.